Maga as a slogan functions less as a policy platform and more as a psychological spell, an incantation embedded in the dynamics of projection, inversion, and confession. This triad is the very machinery through which the Maga cult sustains itself, manufacturing an alternate reality while displacing responsibility for systemic collapse onto scapegoats. Projection, the externalization of inner shadow, is the oldest psychological defense, disowning one's own flaws by attributing them to the other. Maga is an absolute masterclass in this tactic. Fears of lawlessness are projected onto immigrants or activists, even as MAGA's own cult members storm the Capitol building and revel in anti-institutional chaos. Accusations of fake news are projected outward, while MAGA's media ecosystem fabricates an alternate epistemology, untethered from verifiable fact. The deep anxieties about economic precarity, cultural irrelevance, and loss of identity are projected onto globalists or urban elites or progressive movements as if these external enemies are responsible for the hollowing out of middle America, when in truth it was the very neoconservative mixed with neoliberal policies, neither of those neos is a good thing, embraced by MAGA's own economic elites that orchestrated this dispossession. Inversion. The ritual flipping of reality is the alchemical trick of reversing cause and effect, victim and perpetrator. MAGA paints itself as the bastion of law and order, lol, even though its leader is a lifelong criminal, and as it undermines the rule of law through wannabe authoritarian overreach and mob intimidation. It declares itself a defender of freedom while pursuing policies that constrict civil liberties, reproductive rights, and voting access. The inversion is most visible in how MAGA lies to champion the forgotten man. While its policies, tax cuts primarily for the ultra-wealthy, deregulation of corporate pillaging, further entrenchment of oligarchic control, etc., inversion is how these billionaires can convince struggling communities that they are their avatar. Lol. It's a magician's sleight of hand, flipping the mirror to reflect a distorted, comforting illusion. But perhaps the most fascinating and psychologically revealing dynamic is confession, the unintentional reveal of inner desires. MAGA thought crime rhetoric is laced with accusations that, on deeper examination, are confessions of its own shadow. Accusations of election rigging come from those seeking to undermine electoral integrity. Claims of media dishonesty emerge from those engaged in constant disinformation campaigns. QAnon can't see any of the pedocons, and shouts of cancel culture erupt from those eager to purge dissenting voices from their own ranks. This is the phenomenon where accusations become admissions. A subconscious leakage where the very things MAGA decries are the behaviors it enacts most aggressively. Beneath the bravado, the cult is whispering its own pathology in the open through the veil of accusation. The function of this triad is that projection, inversion, and confession work synergistically to create a closed-loop system. Any external critique is deflected by projection, any factual inconsistency is neutralized by inversion, and any internal contradiction is hidden in plain sight through a confession as accusation. This triad doesn't just defend MAGA from external challenge, it fuses its adherents into an identity cult, where shared grievances replace critical thought, and as a result, for anyone within said cult, they live in halls of mirrors of constant lies.